All right, well, as always, we're the three gigs, three guys in glasses. I'm Paul. I represent the subcontractor.
I'm Jim, and I'm representing the general contractor.
I'm Craig, and I'm representing the owner.
And
How come you
today,
always get to do that?
Because I'm the owner.
Oh, okay.
and today, we want to give you a short definition on what shop drawings are, or some people might call it design extension. So I have the big questions about this. I want to know, I'm inquiring today, what are they used for, why, and so on. So my understanding of it, let me just start with that, and then I'll just kind of toss it to you guys, and you can clarify all of these misunderstandings in my mind. My understanding of shop drawings is that they are like to fill the gap between where the designers of record would stop their detail of any given construction component, and where the installers would then draw graphically how they would finish out that design to completion, including all the connection points and routing and the minor detail that the designers of record will not include in their original drawings. How far off am I?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. That's a pretty good description of the process, for sure. If you think about it, an architect or a consultant is working in their environment and they're designing something, and they're going to show enough detail, like you said, that we know what is necessary. Now, a trade contractor, who's a specialty in what they do, is the one who's now going to say, dimensionally, I've got to measure that out. I've got to know exactly how much material I need before I start going into fabrication. So if you think about it from that perspective, they kind of do it for themselves
Sure.
before they go into fabrication to make sure they don't waste their time and material, right? It also really is a huge tool for having another trade say, okay, I'm going to furnish the appliances, and these are the depths and the dimensions of my appliances. They're going to go in your big wall of cabinets. And so now we need to coordinate our two shop drawings to make sure that if I need an opening that is 28.5 inches by 32 inches, your cabinets provide that opening for me.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong with that, right?
So, what's interesting as you were saying that, there's one word that came to mind, and it's interestingly a very inflammatory word. If I say this word to contractors, they get quite huffy.
Yeah.
And yet, it's exactly what they recognize in terms of doing their shop drawing, and that is the intent. The drawings that the designers did is showing the intent.
Yep.
When I say that to a contractor, there's not intent. They either say it or they don't. Okay. How do you do your shop drawings?
You're the people who know, right?
You're the people who know.
Right?
You understand. They're just showing intent, and we all have agreed that you are going to produce the definitive drawing or schematic that shows how that
all
intent
of the detail
gets put in.
And it's my feeling that the architect or engineer would be more than willing to detail this out all the way to the nth degree.
They did 50 years
exactly.
ago, right?
And the problem there then becomes the contracting community saying, hey, why are you detailing this out to the nth degree? We know how this is going to finish up. You should let us decide how the final connection goes or the routing goes. And you didn't talk with all these other three guys to find out how we're going to actually use that space in that facility.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a...
So the market came to say, well, then what do you need to be able to do these details? And the response back from the market was, show us your intent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I suppose also from an owner's perspective, I don't want to pay that designer all that extra time to actually detail it to that level, only to then have to come back in and say, now I'm paying for the trades to, in a change order action.
Yeah.
Right. And the reality is if I pay the architect or designers to do it, it's all going to change anyway when the contractors show up. So why pay them?
35 years ago, in my day, when you came out and the drawings are all single line. So the mechanical consultant might draw the ductwork single line, and the plumber draws it single line, and the electrician just has a bunch of squiggly lines with
Mhm.
symbols, in my opinion.
Right.
But so now those trades have to, and this was, I thought, a beautiful process. They would do what were called overlays, where you had a light table,
Yeah.
and one guy put his layout of his entire thing, he put it almost not 3-dimensional, 2-dimensionally on the drawings. And then the next trade took that and laid
Laid
his
theirs
drawings over it and saw where that routing of that
Right.
pipe was going to go,
Now,
so that I
they
wasn't
did those
putting
on
my.
mylar, right?
They did it on
Is that the-
mylar, yeah.
right.
So now these days, a shop drawing might be actually could be still a 2-dimensional, sketch. It could be in BIM. Now we've gotten real technical, and you can actually show everything 3-dimensionally and really see what's routing where. If you're going to have a conflict between a beam and some pipe that has to be run at a certain slope.
So they would create those drawings in Revit or something like that, and then
yes,
use Navisworks between the trades to see if there are clashes and so on, right?
So, why, at the end of the day, do we do it, and how do we get it? How do you get it? Is it a submittal? Is it a by itself shop drawing? Are those two different things, or is that part of the submittal package?
So in my state, I'm the sub, right? So I read through my specs, and in my specifications for a particular material or system, the architect or the engineer will tell me that they want a shop drawing as part of the submittal process.
Okay.
So they'll tell me, hey, submit on the fire hydrants, and I give them all of the catalog cuts, the material data sheets for the fire hydrants, the physical parts. But then they also want a shop drawing of how I'm going to actually run it from this point to this point. They've shown me the location of that on the drawings. They've shown me where my pipe should be over here, but now they're going to ask me exactly how all this works together.
Right.
So
Right.
that'll be the shop drawing part of that. And it is a submittal, just like any other submittal. All right, so that's a good definition, a good starting point for shop drawings or design extension. Thanks a lot. We're the 3 Gigs. Make sure to follow us, like us, share it with your friends and neighbors. We'll see you next time around.
Bye.